Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show, and we've been talking to Nora Kenney-Whitley. She's at Palomar College Transition Program, and then Martin Leyva, and he's also at the program. We're going to come back to you, Martina, because I know we have other guests that you brought with us to speak to from the Transitions Club, and one is the chair of the club, that's Nayeli Gonzalez, and then the secretary is Dave Gonzalez. And I know they are working with maybe a little bit different population, a younger age group, and I'm curious about the program. And are you Project Rebound? Is that what you call yourselves, or is that just one of the other names?
So that's one of the other names.
Okay.
So we have the Transitions Collective, which is the student organization at Cal State San Marcos.
Mm-hmm.
And we work with supporting and advocating with forming the incarcerated and system impacted individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And so under that umbrella, we have the Transitions Youth Council, which is a youth council for high school students that basically allows these students to be able to learn about civic engagement at a local, state, and also a federal level. So we have justice-involved youth who are either from our juvenile court schools or also our continuation schools that we're mainly reaching out for.
So is it safe to say that these students, high school students,
Yes.
have been identified as maybe being at risk? They might get in trouble. They've gotten in trouble. They're maybe going down the wrong path or appear to be. And then I love the idea of a youth council. You have that. And so here's a place coming again. Going back to Martin's comment about trying to find people like himself. And so you're bringing that youth together and talking to them about going to college?
Yes.
All right.
So they're actually coming to the Cal State San Marcos. So the youth council is located on the campus. So they're actually coming to the campus and seeing themselves, envisioning themselves being at a college themselves.
And how many young people are we talking about?
About 15 to 20.
Okay, and do they go to the campus regularly?
Yes.
And are they still in high school?
Yes. So it's an after-school program, you would say, that right after they get out of their continuation school or the court schools, we usually lead it towards in the afternoon. That way they have more access to attend the college campus.
And what's the first change that you see in them? Now they're in this program. They're going to college. They're seeing other people like themselves. They might even be interacting with people. You guys tell me, right? There are different gang groups and such, and maybe you have to deal with that. What's the changes? What's the first changes you see happening?
So the first thing that we try to do icebreakers. So everybody's getting to know each other. They're seeing that they're living similar experiences. We go through like emotional intelligence trainings. That way they can see themselves that they're actually alike from one another.
Mm-hmm.
They're living, they're either coming from low-income communities, they're first generations as well. Our students instantly start speaking up about, since you have one student who starts talking about their experiences, another student starts jumping in. So basically they start having dialogues and critical discussions with each other about their lived experiences.
Very good. And just going back to one definition of literacy, that's one thing, Nora, and then just referencing right their lives and the importance, I think, of people, seeing people like themselves, right, and feeling like they belong, right, Martin?
Yeah.
And so I love this, I do, and so do they stay on track? They stay with this? You have some folks drop out. there's still the temptation. Things are happening out in the street. They want to have a good time and peer pressure and all that. They're having to deal with all that.
Yes.
So how rate your success?
So basically, we do have students that are like leaving, but we also have students that they graduate from the program, but we also lead them to the transitions program.
Mm-hmm.
So they do the transitions youth council, and then we continue to lead them towards the education bound. So basically, they go to the transitions program at Palomar, and then from there we continue to nurture that, and that's when we have also Project Rebound, which is at the Cal State level.
And do you have any? I'm not sure how long you've been doing the program. How long have you been doing this?
So the Transitions Youth Council actually started about 1.5 years ago. So
Okay.
we're fairly new, but
Okay, so you're waiting to get your first college graduates and such, right?
so
Yeah.
some of our students are actually already our first cohort. Some of our students are at Cal State San Marcos. Some are attending Palomar College. There's other students who actually went to I believe UCSD. So we have some students that are actually already on college campuses,
Wonderful.
and some students who are still in high school who just recently graduated.
Okay. What's taking place, and any of you answer this question, in terms of the curriculum, maybe what you're offering, or Martine, if I enroll in your sociology class, what's happening there that's not happening anywhere else? How's that making me stay with this program?
Well, I think there's a number of answers to that question, because let's just say our students in the youth council, or they're really learning about, like as Nayeli said, emotional intelligence and social justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're being able to pick apart the school to prison pipeline and how it affects them. They're able to see gang injunction laws and how it affects their communities, and that's all part of their curriculum. If you were to take my sociology class, it's Intro to Justice Studies. I'm really picking apart a system that already targeted folks even before they were born, right? This is the what is the war on drugs, and when did it actually start, and how is it affecting our community? How has it stopped drugs from coming into our community? The truth is it hasn't, right?
Yeah.
I'm picking apart rational choice, where a lot of times parole, probation, court system will say, well, you made the choice to do X, Y, and Z. And in my class, we're saying, okay, if that's what they say, who made a choice to fill my neighborhood full of liquor stores? Who made the choice to bring all these surveillance cameras and cops into my neighborhood? Who made that choice? So if you're saying rational choice, then who made the choices that ultimately sent me to jail and prison in the first place? Who's making the choice of inequality? So we really are picking apart that. And I think that when you have a class full of formerly incarcerated and system impacted folks, then they see themselves positioned in the center of all these social issues. And they realize, like, I didn't make this choice. This choice was already made for me.
They understand why this is going the way it's been going.
One of the best classes you can be a part
Yeah.
of, because not only are you giving them this hard data, this hard research, that this is how the system works, then they can see themselves like, I'm colluding with this system because I thought that was normal. So we're picking apart normal. This
Right.
isn't normal,
Yeah.
right? And then they become that agent of social change, that agent of like, hey, I don't want my kids raised in this system that's already in place, right?
Yeah.
And it really does empower them.
It's
So
in a sense, it's a trap. No, Nora, is something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that's really a difference in the educational, just the philosophy of the program, and so many leading educators now look with for me it's framed in literacy, but like I was talking about how people in the academy in the ivory tower define literacy from their tower, right? But looking at a definition of literacy and looking at education, pedagogy, and curriculum as having the students bring in what they have and know, and meeting them with what they're bringing in, and seeing those as amazing opportunities to build on and to bridge to more traditional curriculum that is going to help them to get their degrees and to help them get careers like sociology professors or whatever it is that they want to do. So that's, I think, at the core of this whole philosophy, is instead of saying, oh, we're over here at the university and at the college and you need to come and speak our language. No, Martine speaks the language of his students, literally and figuratively, and that's where we need to go to bring them in.
Well, it's a more honest presentation of our society. Now it's today is June 11th, 2020, and there are things happening today that I already saw COVID. I didn't expect this other big surprise. The marching, the call for civil rights, respect for people of color. I mean, whatever you want to call it. But people, and I heard it before. If change is going to happen, we have to understand where we are, and two, people have got to get on board with what's happening and the police brutality that we've seen, and that's happened.
Right.
And the course that you're teaching, the conversation that you're having with the students, is in that context. It's in the context of there is this thing that's been taking place. It's institutionalized. It's messaging. It's in a sense, it's like, here's the path you're going to go. I look at what happened with me. I mean, there in my neighborhood and the people I grew up with, I'm a freak story when you look at it. And so what happened to everybody else? Yeah. What happened to everybody else? So we're doing what we're doing and helping folks with, giving them a leg up, but also being, I like to say, translators, or just the helping with the transition, connecting to an education system that they've never thought they would fit into. And actually, they're quite an asset, given their lives and such, and helping us to make things better for everybody, because we all suffer when you have these inequities and such. So so how are you doing this? You're telling them the truth and showing them where we are. We're going to come back to all of you. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show. We want to get into the literacy part of things a little bit more. And this is the Literacy for All radio show. I'm Jose Cruz, San Diego Council on Literacy, and you're listening to WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Donate cash, furniture, clothes, and other gently used household items to Father Joe's Villages and get a nice tax break in April. Every donation is tax deductible. Believe you can make a difference. Be Father Joe. Go to neighborhood.org or call 1-800-HOMELESS to donate today.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out, because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Too much to do? Not enough time to get it done? Call on the experts at Another 8 Hours for your business support needs. By partnering with Another 8 Hours, we allow you to focus on the more important matters, like being in front of your clients, doing what you do best, rather than being stuck at a desk poring over paperwork, rummaging through emails, returning phone calls, and struggling to get everything done by yourself. Meanwhile, your family and social life are going down the drain. Go to another8hours.com or call 8 more hours. That's 866-734-6877.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. We've been talking to our guests from Palomar College and from Cal State University San Marcos about the transitions program and helping at-risk young people, teens, even adults, succeed at college. I mean, it's bigger than that. And just based on the conversation, it's bigger than that because it's also, just the whole idea of emotional intelligence. What a fun conversation to be having, right? And understanding yourself better. I mean, that's rewarding in itself, but also grooming people to get into social services because they've been through the dark side of our society and finding a place where they can really make change happen for people like themselves. So, like I said, we could have done 2 hours on this. David, I don't want you to get out of here without saying something. I want you to hear yourself on the radio. But David Gonzalez, he is the secretary of the Transitions Club at Cal State University San Marcos. And how are you feeling about the work that you're doing, that you get to do? Let's get you up to the microphone a little bit.
I'm extremely proud of the work and all my members that have been contributing to Transitions Collective, as well as the faculty that's been supporting us at Cal State San Marcos and at Palomar. I think impacting youth and letting them see themselves on campus, where I never thought I would be on campus. I started out at a community college, and I had the guidance of a mentor right here, Leyva, to guide me to go to the university and then see myself trying to go get to my master's and maybe my Ph.D. maybe in the future. Man. So that's really helped me inspire everybody as well and try to get more youth who don't picture themselves, seeing them get into higher education and guide them to achieve what they didn't see themselves.
Wonderful. What do you see yourself doing, let's say, 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I see myself probably becoming a professor and try to establish a classroom where people feel safe, where they can talk about their experiences with the criminal justice system and how they've been looked down upon, or how the stigmas have contributed to them not seeing themselves in the education system.
Very good, very good. Man, this is rich. Nayeli, tell us what is the message, the main message that you give to the young people that you get to work with? What do you find yourself saying a whole lot?
Empowering them. So one of the phrases that we actually have is, "My existence is my resistance." So letting them know that their simple existence is their resistance. They can be in these spaces just as much as anybody else, and that basically to envision themselves being in spaces where they never envisioned themselves in, because when we're coming, when we don't see people who look like us or speak like us, we never envisioned ourselves being in those spaces. So as we're going into these spaces as well, why not bring the next generation that's coming with us? So having them, empowering our students to continue with education.
It's quite a powerful thing. I mean, you're telling them things that they've never heard in their lives. You're letting them know that who they are is a gift and something that they can pass on to other people. You're showing them where they are in the spectrum of things, right?
Yes.
All right. I know time's going to fly by so fast. Something that you'd like to say before your last words on this show, Nayeli.
My last words.
Yeah, what would you say? Just in terms that maybe you're talking to a young person who's listening and who's like, "Man, I'm ready to make a change in my life." What do you want to say to that person?
That they should seek a person who's actually lean to believe in them. Just like Martin Leyva, just want to give my shout out and my respects to the love, because finding that community, that those mentors who actually believe in you, because having that community in that corner goes a long way. Having somebody, not only if you're not believing in yourself at that moment, at least having somebody who's willing there to push you to continue moving forward. Because myself, I never envisioned myself going into a graduate program, and here I am doing that. So to the youth out there, to continue pushing forward with their lives, to seek mentors and guidance in those people who actually believe in them and are always going to be in their corner.
Wonderful. Now I'm going to ask you all the same question. Nora brought 3 books, Bad Boys, and then what's this one called?
One?
Literacy?
Yeah.
And then the new Jim Crow, which by Michelle Alexander. David, I just believe you have a book in you. Are you going to write a book one day?
I hope so.
Okay,
Maybe,
all right,
yes.
all right. And then yourself, Neil.
Yeah, most definitely.
And are you writing something, Martine, or are you collecting profiles, case stories?
I am. I've authored a couple of articles, one that should be published soon. And I think just going off of that, I mean, I have a mentor who keeps talking about writing a book. But what I'm looking forward to is the trajectory of research, right? I love these books, Ferguson, Alexander, all these people. What I love the most is that the trajectory of research is going to change based off personal experience. So a lot of times people will do research about the prisons but never actually been in prison. People do research on marginal communities but don't come from marginal communities. This is what I encourage all the students I have the honor of being around, is that why let somebody else tell your story when you can tell your story perfectly fine, and even come from that standpoint where, this is not just a story I'm telling, this is my story I'm telling. And that, I think that connects to a bigger audience. So
very good.
I think that's so important for all students to write their own stories.
Because that's, I think, the big bridge, the big gap in people not understanding the perspective, because they're not living in that skin. They're having a different American experience. Last words, Martine.
I think education is so powerful, right? And education at one point for a lot of people was told, this isn't for you, right? And I think that keeps our stories out of academia. And I think that education and the right people getting educated can change the system, as we're seeing right now. System's about to change. Let's make sure that those folks that are, once again, closest to the problem are the ones closest to the solution. And that's what education can definitely do. Gives us the language we need to change the system.
I love the quotes, existence is my resistance, and yours. And Nora, you get the last word. How to get in touch with people who want to learn more about the program, and whatever you want to say.
Well, so what I would like to say, given the climate right now, is I want to call on my white brothers and sisters to stand with people of color and black and brown people, and work with other white people to be an ally. It is time to stop relying on your black and brown friends to ask them their advice about X, Y, and Z. We need to do this with each other and not ask people to keep teaching us, right? There are white allies out there who can do this work, and I'm trying to do that work. So that is my one call to action, is when the conversation is awkward, you got to be comfortable with your discomfort and have these conversations with other white people.
Very good. Very good. And we're seeing it out there with the marching and such. And
absolutely.
And like I said, I didn't expect what's happening, and it's such a gift, and we need to be careful not to have this come back at us because we didn't do it. We didn't finish business. We didn't take care of it. We've been here before. Nora, how to get in touch with people?
You can. So to email me, it's Kenney, N like Nora, Kenney, Whitley, WHITLEY at Palomar, PALOMAR.edu.
Very good. Thank you very much. We're signing off. And thank you all for being here. Let's do this again. We have more that we can be sharing. I'm Jose Cruz. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
In the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011, 800-628-6011, NavyMutual.org, insuring those who serve.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.